Hello students, good morning. Welcome to the next class. So in the last class, I have just discussed about the syllabus. I have given an overview about the syllabus. That is what all will be covering in the syllabus of the Statistics 7 paper. So in Statistics 7 paper, today we are going to start the Unit 1. So hope you all have written the syllabus. So coming to Unit 1, what is the first topic we have? The first topic we have is ANOVA. So what does ANOVA means? Analysis of variance. Analysis of variance. So we are going to test the several means by using the concept of analysis of variance. So what is ANOVA? All those definitions I will be covering next. First, before going to ANOVA, first we will discuss about the linear model. So what is a linear model? I said we have in the syllabus, that is Gauss-Markov. Gauss-Markov linear model. The same like the regression or the straight line, this model is also used for the prediction. Suppose this Gauss-Markov linear model was developed by Gauss and Markov. This was developed by or introduced by Gauss and Markov, and it is related to the set of n independent variables. So suppose I am writing a regression line. How will we be denoting the regression line? First, a equals to a plus y equals to a plus dx, which will be in the form of a straight line. So where y is the dependent variable and y is a dependent variable and x is the independent variable. So same like that, here we not only one variable, we are going to consider the set of the independent variables only. So we are going to have set of independent variables, that is we are going to consider as y1, y2, so on, yn. So for the set of n independent random variables y1, y2, so on, yn with some unknown parameters. So if I say y equals to a plus bx, what are the parameters in this? A and b are the parameters. So same like that for n independent random variables with the m unknown parameters. So those parameters are denoted with betas. That is beta 1, beta 2, so on. We have m parameters, so beta n. So Gauss and Markov developed a linear model for the set of n independent random variables, that are y1, y2, so on, yn with m unknown parameters, that is beta 1, beta 2 and so on, beta n. So this is described in the form of a matrix form. So I said we are going to write the linear model in the form of the matrix form. So how will we write it? That is y equals to a beta plus epsilon. Y equals to a beta plus epsilon. So what is y here? Y is an n by 1 vector. That means you are having total n variables, right? So that n by 1 vector, that is y1, y2, so on, yn is the y. And what is a? A is the coefficient matrix. So here beta is the parameter, right? So for parameter the coefficient is a. So a is called as a coefficient matrix and beta is the parameter matrix. Total beta is the, I said it is a unknown parameter vectors. So this is what is the dimension of this? We are going to have total m parameters. So it is a m by 1 parameter matrix. M by 1 parameter matrix. Similarly, next one is epsilon. So we have A also, right? A. So what is A? I said A is the coefficient matrix. So dimensions will be n by n. So A into beta. So beta will be having total n by 1 and variables will be n by 1. So total in the coefficient matrix we are going to have n by n values. So A is the n by n coefficient vector. N by n coefficient vector. And coming to the epsilon, here epsilon is the, so total we are going to have n variables. So here also it is an n by 1 matrix. So epsilon is the n by 1 error vector or the random vector of errors, which is called as the random vector of errors. So for any model, it is common that we are going to have the error. That error is a minute value. Epsilon means we know it is a very small value. So there will be always, we will try to minimize the error. So that's why error we denote with the epsilon. Now we will be describing these matrix vector forms. So first, what is y? Y is the n by 1 vector, right? So how will we be writing n by 1 vector? That is y1, y2, so on, yn. So y is the n by 1 vector. Similarly, beta. So what is beta? Beta is the m by 1 vector. So total will be having m parameters, m unknown parameters that are denoted as m1, m2, so on, beta m. Beta 1, beta 2, so on, beta m. Similarly, we will be writing the coefficient matrix. So coefficient matrix we are denoting with A. So A equals to, say the size of vector is m by 1. So coming to the coefficient matrix. So coefficients, I am denoting the values of coefficients with small a letters. That is A11, A12, so on, A1n. So total m values will be there. So A1n. M parameters are there, right? Similarly, A21, A22, so on, A2n. Total n variables. So an1, an2, so on, ann. So total values are, it is a n by m So copy this one. Now we will see the different assumptions for this Gauss-Markov linear model. Assumptions of model. So there are different assumptions for the Gauss-Markov linear model. Under that, the first and the most important assumption, which is related to the error vector. So what is an error vector? Here error vector, it is denoted with epsilon. So this epsilon follows normal distribution with the parameters 0, sigma square I. So what does it indicate? Always the epsilon. So what is epsilon? Epsilon is the error matrix or the error vector with the n error values, that is epsilon 1, epsilon 2, so on epsilon n. So all these epsilons, that is epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3 follows the IID variables. So what does IID indicates? Identically independent. We have discussed in the previous ones also. IID means identically independent variables with the normal distribution. IID normal variables with the parameters 0, sigma square I. So what does it mean normal parameters? How will we writing the normal distribution? Generally x follows normal with mu, sigma square. So the first parameter value here in place of mu we have 0. That means the mean of the error is always 0. Whereas the variance of this error is sigma square I. I indicates the identity matrix. So here I is the identity matrix. Here we are dealing with the vectors, that is matrices only. So I is an identity matrix of order n. Identity matrix of order n. So why the order is n? Here we are having n values in our error vector. That is epsilon 1, epsilon 2, so on epsilon n. So I is also identity matrix of the order n. So this is the first assumption. So second assumption. So from the first assumption only, we are writing the second assumption that expectation of epsilon is equals to. So what does expectation indicate? It is the mean value. So expectation of epsilon equals to 0. So expectation of epsilon equals to 0 means the all values in the epsilon vectors, for all the values in the epsilon vector, the mean value will be 0. That is expectation of epsilon I equals to 0. So where I equals to 1, 2, so on n. We are having total n values, right? For all I equals to 1, 2, so on n. So all the values of the error vector, the mean for all the values of error vector is always 0. Next, coming to the third assumption. So the third assumption of the model is the covariance of epsilon I. So covariance always will be taking two values, right? The variation between two values. So if I consider epsilon I as one, second one I am considering as epsilon j, two variables. So equals to, the covariance will be equals to. So here we are having two conditions, that is I and j. So the covariance will be different for I j. Now coming to the fourth assumption. So fourth assumption is related to the vector y. So y follows the normal distribution with a beta comma sigma square I. Y follows normal distribution with a beta comma sigma square I. So what is y here? Y is the set of n independent random variables, that is y1, y2, so on, yn. So y indicates y1, y2, y1, so on, yn, right? So y1 comma y2 comma so on, yn are n independent random normal variables, n independent normal variables with mean. So what is the mean here? A beta. So how we are considering the mean as expectation, right? So expectation of yi equals to a beta. So where a is the coefficient matrix and beta is the unknown parameter vector. And here we are not going to get directly the variance, but the dispersion matrix we are going to write, that is dispersion matrix of y, that is d of y equals to sigma square I. So generally this value indicates the variance, right? So directly we cannot say that this value is variance, but d of y is known as the dispersion matrix which contains both variances and covariances. So coming to dy, it is not just a variance matrix, it is also a variance and covariance matrix. Variance and covariance. So this matrix consists of both the variances and also the covariances. So dy is the variance and covariance matrix. It is a matrix which consists of both variance and covariance. So variance and covariance both indicates the dispersion, right? So this is called as the dispersion matrix. So coming to d of y is the dispersion matrix which contains both variance and covariance values. So variance of yi we can write it as sigma square. Variance of yi we can write it as from this sigma square. So this is the description and the different assumptions of this model. So under these assumptions, under these four assumptions, what are the four assumptions? First three are related to the error only. So first we say that error follows the normal distribution with mean 0 and variance sigma square I. So all the error vector values are the identically independent normal variables with mean 0, that is expectation of ei will be equals to 0 for all I equals to 1 to so on n, and covariance of ei ej equals to sigma square for the identical terms, that is I equals to j. If I not equals to j, then covariance of ei ej will be equals to 0. So that means 0 means covariance 0 means the variables are independent. Now next coming to the next assumption is that y is related to the random variable vector, that is y follows the normal distribution with a beta comma sigma square I. So that is y indicates the all the random variables, that is y1, y2, so on, yn are the n independent normal variables with the mean expectation of yi equals to a beta and variance of yi epsilon is known as the Gauss-Markov linear model. Gauss-Markov linear model. So if you remember straight line regression, then you can remember this model also. This y equals to a beta plus epsilon. Here all the values we are having in terms of the vectors, random vectors, that is matrix forms, and one more term we will be learning about here the error vector. So this is about the Gauss-Markov linear model and its assumptions. Now we will study the one more small theorem that is called as the Cochran's theorem. So this Cochran's theorem, we are going to have only the statement for the Cochran's theorem. There will be no proof for this. This Gauss-Markov linear model and Cochran's theorem are the short answers. So now Cochran's theorem. So we have only statement for this theorem. Just a small statement. So let us suppose we are having a random sample drawn from the normal population. We are considering as x1, x2, so on, xn. So is a random sample from the normal population. Random sample from the normal population with mean value. So whatever the random sample we are considering, that random sample is drawn from the normal population with the mean 0 and variance sigma square. So how will we writing the notation? That is xi follows normal with what is the mean here? 0, variance is sigma square. So we are considering the random sample in such a way that its mean equals to 0 and its variance is equals to sigma square. Now we consider the sum of the squares of these variables. So we are considering the random sample of variables, right? So let us consider the sum of the squares of these variables. Let us consider the sum of the squares of these variables. So what are the variables here? x1, x2, so on, xn. So we are taking the n variables as a random sample with mean 0 and variance sigma square. Now we consider the sum of the squares of these variables as, so sum of the squares means summation I equals to 1 to n, sum of the squares of these variables. So variables are xi, so we consider the squares. So summation I equals to 1 to n xi square is the square of these variables. So this squares, whatever the squares we are considering for these random sample of random variables, will be in the with the ranks Rj. With ranks Rj. So that means for Q1 the rank will be R1, Q2 the rank will be R2, like that. For Qk the rank will be the Rk. So here what does rank indicates? Rank indicates the degrees of freedom. So what is degrees of freedom? The number of variables which are independently distributed are called as degrees of freedom. Freedom means independent. So number of variables which are independently distributed are called as the degrees of freedom. So each quadratic form will be having a definite degrees of freedom. That is for Qj, the degrees of freedom will be Rj. So whenever for all, so here how many variables we have? For all j equals to 1, 2, so on, k quadratic forms. Now, then these random variables Q1, Q2, Q3 are mutually independent. Then these random variables, so what are the random variables? That is quadratic formed random variables, that is Q1, Q2, so on, Qk are mutually independent. These are the mutually independent, and we consider the ratio of Qj by sigma square and the ratio of Qj by sigma square. Qj is the rth quadratic form and sigma square is the variance. So this Qj by sigma square is the chi-square variate. So whatever the value we are getting, that is Qj by sigma square, this is called as the chi-square variate with Rj degrees of freedom. So whenever we consider the random variables, random sample with mean 0 and variance sigma square, then the sum of the squares of these random variables we have written in the form of a quadratic forms. So if any one of the quadratic form is divided by its sigma square variance, then that is nothing but the chi-square variate. So we know generally what is a chi-square variate. It is the square of the standard normal variate. So here also we are considering the square of the normal variates with mean 0 and variance sigma square. Standard normal means the variance will be 1. So if you want to remember simply, remember the chi-square definition, that it is square of the standard normal variate. Here Qj indicates the squares only, so squares only, but with the variance sigma square. So for standard normal variate, the variance should be 1. So divide with sigma square. Then that Qj by sigma square is a chi-square variate with Rj degrees of freedom. So this is about the Pokhara